I believe the problems are the men.
You think the problem are the men, huh?
Yeah, of
Why?
course.
Why do you think so? Are they not faithful? They can't stay faithful or something?
I believe the education between Brazil and United States are not too different between each other. So
because when I walked in, it was packed. And what do you think I saw? What do you think I saw?
What did you see?
Exactly what I thought I was going to see.
What?
80 women sitting alone. No men in sight. None. I saw so many black women try to solve a problem in dating by starting to host events in person, trying to create third spaces to facilitate dating like offline. And you know what would happen every single time? The men were not signing up. They would be selling tickets to speed dating, and they would always end up with men's tickets on sale. Always, because they weren't buying any. Just the other day, a big account that I follow for black creatives did like this cupid thing where they were like, hey, send us a profile about yourself and we would love to post it and like play matchmaker. Sounds like a cute idea, right? Not one single man sent their profile in. And mind you, this is an account that has well over 100,000 followers. It's just time to stop. It's time to stop. They have made it very loud and clear that they do not
singles event, and here's why I think we're doomed to be single for the rest of our lives. That was a bit dramatic, but
Okay, I'm gonna give you context on the videos. So basically, here in America, men, we don't go out and we don't date anymore because the women, they're no longer feminine. They're no longer. They're very masculine, very aggressive, very mean. So I mean, I'm sure you've heard that a lot of men from America come to your country. Yeah, I mean, I told you I'm coming to your country. So I was just curious about how women treat men in Brazil. I mean, are the women very masculine towards and mean towards men in Brazil typically? Because I know that if you have money, no matter where you go, women are going to act nice. But I'm just curious how Brazilian women treat Brazilian men on the day to day basis.
Can I ask you a question before my answer?
Oh, yeah.
What do you mean with masculine ones? Like,
They act like
but
men. Women act like men. They're like, do you want like details on how they act like men?
yes.
Okay. How do women act like men? First of all, they're not. First of all, they're very aggressive. They're like mean, very mean. And I guess that's not typically acting like a man. But as far as acting like a man, they like to. They're more concerned about their money, their career. They're not concerned about family because the traditional. What we say is there's traditional women and there's modern women. Now, the traditional women from back in the days, they were more focused on family. They were more focused on, you know, okay, so there's a saying. Let me just say the saying. The saying is men choose women for what they can do inside of the house. Women, let me say marry. It's really marry. Women marry men for what they can do outside of the house. Women nowadays in America do not care about doing anything inside of the house. They're not. They don't care about raising the kids. They don't care about making sure we eat good. I mean, all they care about is being outside of the house and making money. It's all about making money. And then still they want you to have more money than them even though they're making just as much money as the men are.
Uh-huh.
But is that the typical situation in Brazil?
Yes. Well, so your question is it is common in Brazil, that type of situation?
Yes. So it is.
Well, you
So
know,
so women
I
women in
have,
Brazil, women in Brazil don't cook, they don't clean. They just want to
yeah, yeah.
okay, they
My answer is yes. Usually, uh, like the time. For example, you know what? I have spent a lot of time in the university talking about it, like feminism. I love the type of topics. So my answer is yes, but depends a lot uh, about your family you raised on. Some families are more religious and other ones not. So it's
Okay,
not
so the religious ones are the more traditional ones, and
mhm.
y'all have plenty of modern women who are all about finding ways to get the money, and they don't really care about getting married anymore. So let
Yes.
me ask you this question though: how does divorce work in Brazil? Like, do because here in America, women very often marry men who have money, divorce them, and take half of their money. Does that happen a lot in Brazil? I don't know how divorce works in Brazil.
Yeah, depends, but also depends how money you have. In Brazil, get a divorce it's pretty difficult, especially if you put this in a public way. You know, here you can use the public service to get divorced, but that path away, like the way is too difficult, and it doesn't work very well. So
So, are you saying that divorce isn't very common in Brazil?
yeah, it is very common, but it's very difficult because justice doesn't work very well here.
You said the system doesn't work very well, like the divorce system.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hmm. Let me. So, are people getting married in large amounts in Brazil? Are people still getting married here? We don't really get married too much no more. Marriage is on a decline. Are people still getting married?
Actually, to be married, you need a quite of money to
Really?
be to do this. So most of the time, people just live together and that's it, without paper and like church. Just oh, I want to live with you, and that's it.
Okay, so it's kind of like a marriage. It's like a marriage, a spiritual marriage, but not a government marriage. You don't go through the marriage as far as signing paperwork and contracts. You're just like, do they have weddings? Do they like,
Yeah, they do, but
but they don't sign paperwork with the government. Most people.
no, they signed, but the rich people usually.
Hmm. So most people, most children are born not being married, from
Yes,
parents not being
most
married.
of them, especially because it's quite common in Brazil. Like people don't be married, so it's quite common to raise and born children, but not necessary to be married to do this.
Do most people like? So do most children grow up in two family households? Like the mother and father live together, or does the father impregnate the mom and disappear? Like that's what happens in America.
It
Like
happens a lot.
yeah,
It
uh,
happens a lot, yes, especially in the favelas and in Brazil. It's quite common.
hmm. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the same all around the world, man.
The
we
problem
we got to do
is
better.
are
Us
the
men, we have
men.
to do better. We have to do better raising our children.
Yeah, I believe the problem is are the men.
You think the problem are the men, huh?
Yeah, of
Why
course.
why do you think so? Well, are they not faithful? They can't stay faithful or something?
I believe the education between Brazil and United States are not too different between each other. So most of the men got the women pregnant and then disappear after that. I believe the problem is the how that man raised it, like the family that guy was teaching to raise a family and to have good principles, you know?
Okay, so you're saying men there aren't raised to raise families. They're
Yes.
okay, so this would be the question I would have to ask you. Who's raising the children? The women are typically raising the children, right? So if they're not raising the children to be the type of men that will be family oriented, then wouldn't that be that the women the women are kind of the problem? I mean, she needs to. She
Conversation
needs
is
to.
getting
She needs.
so
She needs to instill it inside of her child's head that he needs to be this type of person. I'm just saying, these are the conversations we have often in America. You know, it's funny. It's funny to have that conversation with somebody from another country. You know.
yes. Yeah, I agree. But I don't believe it's too different between here. I believe that the most different between us, like Brazil, United States, is because a lot of people here uh, are poor, unfortunately, and the conditions to raise a children and to have a family here are not so good. Uh, Usually the women and men's get together, live together, but don't sign the paper, as I told you, because it's quite expensive here if you want to have that or have a party to get married. And most of the time they live together because they have financial problems. So, and after this, the woman got pregnant and the man disappeared, and the problems is continuous. You know, the main question here is the money, most of the time.